Which testicle is lower, your left or your right? Let me reach down for a second, get a hold of
DEEZ NUTZ.
And I'm a lefty. What's up YouTube, it's Joel, or NobodyEpic, and this is a Q&A video. I'm answering your questions that I asked you to give me on Facebook or Twitter. Boy, I'm needy, but I appreciated all the questions. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. Not since I've gotten married. That's a pretty big life event I could be talking about in this video, and there's a lot of other stuff going on. I'm in a great mood lately. There's a lot of good video games out that I want to play. I have 5 video games that I want to play right now, all in my rotation of things that I could be playing a lot, and I normally only have 2 video games that I really want to play, and then others I just feel like I could play to kill time or something. But right now, really into Black Ops 3, really into H1Z1 CSGO, and Madden, and Until Dawn. So those are the games on my plate. It's put me in a great mood. I don't want to extend this intro too long, but I will say I put all of the questions that I answered in the description. So if you don't feel like listening to a particular question, or if you want to skip around, just go to the description of this video. There's timestamps for each question, or if you're on mobile, I guess that sucks. But at least you'll see what questions are in the Q&A video if you want to spoil the entire thing for yourself. So yeah, let's get into it right now. Are you enjoying Black Ops 3? Plain and simple, yes, I am enjoying the Black Ops 3 beta, and I look forward to putting a lot of hours into this game when it is fully released in November. I will be playing it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC. I think I'm just going to rotate between all of the consoles and just mix it up, I guess. Have characters on every single possible platform. And I really like Treyarch's style. I don't know how else to explain it. What does Coke have over Pepsi that makes it taste better to you? Or if you like Pepsi better than Coke, can you fully explain why you like Pepsi more than Coke? No, it's a difference so subtle that you can't explain it, but I just like the style better. It's smooth. It's kind of like Advanced Warfare in terms of having jetpacks, but it just feels different. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'm just dumb or don't have enough words in my little head to describe what it feels like, but the game feels good. It feels like a Treyarch game, and I like Treyarch games. So I'm going to put a lot of hours into it, more hours than I put into Advanced Warfare, put a decent amount. I don't know how many, maybe, I don't even want to say because I don't know how many, and I didn't like Ghosts at all, Call of Duty Ghosts. And Black Ops 2 is the last Call of Duty I really liked, and I think it's my favorite Call of Duty of all time. So Black Ops 3 is going to be great. I don't like to live in a world of extremes. I don't think it's going to save Call of Duty, and I don't think it's going to end Call of Duty. It's going to be a Call of Duty game, and it's going to do a lot of numbers because it's a Treyarch Call of Duty game, and historically, those sell the best. So looking forward to the game, and I'm excited for an awesome fall gaming season. Oh, God, I have not slept in a while. But yeah, it's going to be a great fall. Are you going to do more Let's Plays in the future? Yeah, I definitely want to, because I have been really happy with the feedback I've received on the Until Dawn Let's Play I'm uploading on my channel every day at 2 p.m. Eastern US time until it's done. So it will probably be for the next 20 to 30 days, I would assume, depending on how long I make the videos. I've been making them a lot longer lately, but I have been really happy with the feedback I've gotten on those videos. It's been really positive. There's a lot of stuff I myself need to fix because I haven't really done a Let's Play before. I've never committed to one. I've uploaded an episode or 2 of something and then just not uploaded anything else because I'm a non-committal douche. I don't know if that's a word even. Douche is definitely a word. Non-committal, I think, is. Anyways, I'm really happy with this series, and I know that Let's Plays decline in views over the course of a Let's Play, and they get less views than other videos I upload on my channel because it's not the content I traditionally upload, but it's something I'm interested in because it's kind of what gaming has trended towards, and I can do it my way without having to pander to an audience or be fake is something I never want to be on my channel. There's being positive and talking in a positive manner, and so you're not boring, and then there's just going way over the edge, which is something I personally cannot do, and I respect people who are able to do it because they get a lot of views. But I don't know, I can do it my way, and it's something I want to experiment with more. Long story short, yeah, I definitely want to do more Let's Plays. How's the married life? Great question. Got married June 13th, 2015, and it's pretty normal. I've known my now wife for 6 years. I knew her before I started YouTubing. We've been through a lot together. And I don't know, she's my best friend. And being married is cool. I don't know what's really changed. I guess we like get groceries for each other now and stuff. We were pretty independent before, but in a relationship together, if that makes sense. We had our own lives and then they intersected at being in a relationship, but now our lives intersect in a lot more ways. Do each other's laundry and do the dishes and make dinners together. Stuff that we wouldn't really do when we were a couple. And I know that stuff more couples did, but I don't know. We just really focused a lot on, she was in school a lot and during our relationship, and I was too at a point, and doing YouTube and a job at the same time. So there's been a lot of times in our lives when we've been really busy or didn't see each other as much as we would have liked, I guess. And now we see each other all the time, so it's pretty cool. Being married is awesome. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Unless you're not ready to get married, then 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Don't get divorced. Wait, okay, now, sorry, it's late, or early, whatever. You guys get the picture. Do you prefer 1% milk or 2% milk? I'm a 2% milk kind of guy. Had a tall glass of that white stuff this morning. Are you looking forward to the release of any new games, and if so, which ones? Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the best falls for video games in recent memory, because just think about it, you have Fallout 4 coming out, which is a super hyped game, years in the making. Star Wars is coming out, years in the making, also super hyped. The Call of Duty series is a rotation game, constantly coming out, always a blockbuster game. And it's made by Treyarch this year, and that's the premier Call of Duty studio, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions. They do a lot of sales. They have the Zombies series that goes along with their games, so that's awesome. And then there's a lot of older games coming out that I want. And by older, I mean games that were from the past and are being re-released now. Rock Band is being re-released. Tony Hawk is being re-released, and I didn't really like the trailer for that. It looked like the graphics were real shitty, but I'll reserve judgment until the game's actually out and I can play it and see how it is. I'm excited for that kind of stuff. And NBA 2K16 is another game that I get excited about every year, the NBA 2K series. So that's what's on my plate. That's what I'm thinking about. If I forgot anything, I guess that sucks because I didn't say it. But yeah, next question. What's the worst pain you've experienced? I injured my back really badly when I was in high school. I played high school basketball and middle school basketball and elementary school basketball all throughout my school career. And I had this pain that had been building up for a while. After the fact, I found out that my left leg is an inch longer than my right leg, so over the years it caused my pelvis to be diagonal, and it deteriorated the last lumbar in my back, I believe would be the medical terminology, which is the spongy thing that's between the bones and your spinal cord. I don't want to bore you guys, but long story short, the little spongy thing between my pelvic bone and my spine is really deteriorated, and it just became super inflamed after a grueling tryout session and some really hard first practices of the season, and it slowly got to the point where I went up for a rebound during a practice, routine play, landed, and it just felt like somebody had stabbed me in the back with a knife. I left practice on my own accord, but when I got home, I just got in bed and I didn't get out of it for 3 days. And so my parents said, yeah, you're going to need to get out of the bed, and we're going to need to take you to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and they didn't have to do surgery or anything, but I had to do physical therapy for the next 6 months, and I got some orthotics put into my foot, or my shoe rather, just to kind of lift the foot up. I know this is probably really boring, but it's tall people problems, really. Tall people problems. That's what I've had. That's the most pain I've experienced. Tall people problems. And it's fine now, but I just got to stretch a lot before I do any physical activity. So yeah. What's your favorite mouse, keyboard, and headset? My favorite headset is the headset I use, my Astro A40's PS4 edition. I'm so dumb. I honestly don't know what edition they are. They're just the plain orange edition. Plain orange. I like the color orange. I'm sure that's what it says on the website. Astros, plain orange, as I slam them on my desk. And I use a Razer Death Adder mouse. That's the mouse I've always used. Oh, cool, I got a notification from an app. Razer Death Adder is the mouse for me, and I have a Razer Deathstalker keyboard. I really like it, but I would upgrade my keyboard to the Razer Razer Black Widow Stealth Chroma edition. The one that Sidearms just got is really awesome. It's a mechanical keyboard that is not very loud. I would upgrade to that in a second if this Deathstalker died out, or I don't know, I just felt like upgrading. But that's my setup, and so I'm happy with the headset and the mouse and maybe a new keyboard soon. What part of your YouTube career are you most proud of? For those of you who know me decently well, follow me on Twitter, I've been watching my stuff for a while, you would know that it's kind of tough for me to feel proud of things. I don't know, that's just my personality. I do stuff, I get happy with it in the moment, and then I move on. And I don't really dwell on things. But I had a particular instance in London. Well, we weren't in London, but I was with my friends around the Cambridge area of the United Kingdom, and then we went to London later that day. But we were doing this meetup with just anyone that liked our videos, I guess. We tweeted out, if you wanted to meet us, we're at this park, we'll talk to you, sign whatever stuff you want so you can have our 50-cent autographs. That's the value of them, in my opinion. But, you know, it's whatever. So there was this guy that came up to us who was older than all of us. I was there, myself, Hova, Speedy, and Laquan. And he came up to us and he said he watched our videos when his son was in the hospital, and it helped him get through a really rough time. And that made me really happy because I have a nephew who was in the hospital for a while, and it kind of affected me, and he's one of the most positive things in my life. It really changes you as you get older and you see younger people, a new generation come about in your family, whether it's through your children or children of your brothers and sisters. It affects you in a way, I mean, I can only speak for myself, I guess, but it affects me in a way I can't even explain. And to know, and that guy, when the guy was telling us this, he had his child with him in a little carrier, so you could see the child, and the child was doing better. Obviously, wasn't in the hospital anymore, and that really affected me because I know a really smaller version of what that hurt feels like for somebody so helpless in the world to be in pain and for you not to be able to do anything about it. Obviously, I'm not a father, but to know that I somehow, some way affected that dude and made him feel better indirectly, that's really cool to me. So I don't want to get too sappy on this video. I feel bad for even saying that story, but I did want to say it because it's honest and it was on my mind, and it's the one thing I'm most proud of. I could do a lot of other things on YouTube, and that is the thing that I think about a lot. It made me very happy to hear that. Awesome. Do you know the national anthem? If so, sing it. Well, of course I do. Oh Canada, we have syrup and nice to people. If you could only play one game for the rest of your life, which one would it be? This is a very tough question, Michelle. And I looked at my little collection of games in my Steam library and my console games over in my little console rack in the corner of my office, and I thought about it, and I think it would have to be Black Ops 2, because if I had to break it down to why I play video games, and if I could only play one of them, the core reason why would be to shut my brain off and not really think about other things. I do like playing games that have a story and have a lot of engagement, but after I engage in that story, then what? Then I can't play any other video games for the rest of my life because I already know the story and I don't want to rehash it over and over and over again. So it would have to be a game that I would play to turn my brain off. Black Ops 2 to me is the most balanced Call of Duty and the one I enjoy playing the most. I like Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4, but I'd have to break it down to Black Ops 2 because then you can play zombies too. So a lot of different things you can do in that Call of Duty. Black Ops 2 would be my lifer game. What is the next event you and the crew are going to? I don't know when I'm going to be able to announce details on this, but I will say that there is an event that is already planned that we are going to. It's in November and it's in a location. Future announcements to come on that. So that's all that's on the calendar for right now. If anything else comes up, it's usually within a week or two notice. So yeah, we haven't traveled a lot this year. There's been a lot going on in my life and the lives of my friends, so that's cool. Nice to stay home, but I'm excited to go on this trip that's coming up, so I'll let you guys know about that when I can. What's a quote that keeps you going or that you would preach? Two things come to mind when I read this question, and neither of them are quotes. I'm real good at this Q&A shit. But one is a short story that I think of often, not often, but it's just in my memory. I first heard it when I was in a high school English class. I linked it in the description if you're interested in this. I'm not going to read the short story, but you might have heard it before anyway. It's been adapted in many different formats, and it's used in motivational speaking a lot. It's kind of just a cute little short story, couple of paragraphs, not even 100 words maybe, about persistence and how even a little change can make a big difference. Yeah, so that's one thing that sticks out in my mind. If you want to read that, link in the description. And what else? My favorite book of all time is Steve Martin's autobiography. He's a famous stand-up comedian, and in the 1970s in America, he was huge, a pop culture phenomenon. One of the first stand-up comedian, one of the first. He had to be the first stand-up comedian to do shows to theaters. Or not theaters, stadiums is what I meant to say. Huge crowds just to see a guy stand on stage and tell jokes. And his autobiography talked about the point that led him up to that, from his first shows in front of 6 people to traveling on the road in shitty clubs, and then what it was like to get on stage in front of that many people. And the theme of the book comes out in the end that he had more fun on the journey than he did when he actually got to the part where he was in front of the thousands of people. I know that sounds corny, and I don't think I'm explaining it the best possible way, but it's just always stuck with me that the most important part of a creative process is that second part, the process, right? I did YouTube as a creative outlet, and I think if I had a better end goal in mind, like a certain type of number I want to hit or a certain type of creative goal that I want to achieve, it would make me a better YouTuber. But when I get really down on myself about it, I always remember that the thing I enjoy the most is the process. I don't do it to get to X, Y, and Z, because once you get to that place, what do you do next? I was excited to hit 1 million subs, and then what do? I don't know. Get really confused and almost lose my way, I feel like. But when you get really discouraged about something in your life, sports related, work related, anything, just remember that the journey is more important than the destination. And that's what if we want to get really deep, that's what your whole life is. It's a process, it's a journey, and you can really take that for granted when you're just looking at one thing and focused on one thing. When you achieve that thing or when you receive that thing, you realize that it's not what meant so much to you. Working towards it was what meant the most to you. I hope I made a little tiny bit of sense to someone out there, because this is some real deep shit that I think of in my head. And I'm trying to give you this deep shit, so take it. Take this deep shit. Sorry. Yeah, but that's the stuff that comes to mind. I hope it helped answer your question. Are you still attending MSU, Michigan State University? Yeah, for those of you who don't know my educational situation, I'll clear it up, because sometimes I get questions about it, or sometimes I see people tell other people what I'm doing for college and it's not accurate information. So to set the record straight, I have not gone to MSU since 2013, I believe. I have not attended any classes. I took a leave of absence in my junior year and just haven't gone back since. And I was going to be probably put on academic probation before I took the leave of absence, because my grades were really low, because I was focusing more on YouTube than schoolwork, and that happens. It was stupid, and I wish I would have left sooner to focus on YouTube, but I was scared that I was going to make my parents upset if I left college, and then lo and behold, they said, we wish you would have left sooner, so it's a whole dumb thing, but I'm not in school right now. I could go back, and my grades weren't great when I was in class, so that's the situation. Not in school, haven't been in school since 2013, and doing okay. Opinions on the Jimmy Kimmel situation. I'm not sure this is really a situation, but I will comment on it because it's an interesting topic. For those of you who don't know what the Jimmy Kimmel quote-unquote situation is, Jimmy Kimmel is an American late-night talk show host, and on a recent episode of his show, he talked about YouTube's new dedicated gaming service and how it was funny that people watch other people play video games live on the internet. Made a joke about how it's like going to a restaurant and watching someone else eat your food. And then there was a skit about YouTube's new gaming service, so kind of a parody thing he made. Where like there was people watching other people watch video games, and then it kind of went backwards, like a Russian doll scenario, getting more and more ironic, I guess would be the way you would phrase that. I don't know. But it was a skit and it was comedy, and a lot of people disliked it because he posted a video of it on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel where he posts a lot of his content, and it has like 15,000 dislikes last time I checked. And I honestly did not have a problem with it. It's comedy, and I don't think this is something for people over the age of 30 to understand, and I don't get upset at them for not understanding it. Maybe I'm in the minority on this. I don't try to explain to my grandparents why they should like rap music and try to sell them on rap music because they're not going to like rap music, and maybe they'll make jokes about it, but it's no big deal to me because I like it, and there's a lot of people my age who like it, so it's not a big deal, and it was a joke. It's a funny thing for his demographic to laugh at, and his demographic is not people who watch people play video games online, because those are usually younger people. There's some older people, but if you're watching people play video games online, you're probably not watching late night talk shows. So I don't know. The whole situation was kind of funny, and I really don't like how gamers super lash out at people when they make jokes about this, because it is hard to explain. You cannot honestly tell me that it is not, if you're a YouTuber who does gaming, you cannot say honestly that it's very easy to explain to people what you do for a job, especially people over the age of, let's say, 25, my age that I'm about to be next month. It's really difficult. I can't say it without sounding like I'm a drug dealer. I stutter over my... What do you do for work? I play video games, and so I put them online then, right? And then people watch that, and money to me. Oh, so you're a drug dealer. Yeah, see, it's not easy to explain. It's a very new thing. You've only been able to make money off of this for about 4 years. What did the YouTube Partner Program start in 2009? And then you see YouTubers coming around in 2011, 2010. I don't know. It's very new, and one day it will be easily explainable because throughout the test of time, it will be an event that happened, and people who are young now that understand it will become older, so there'll be a lot more understanding about it, but at this time there's no understanding of it in the general context of media. Not no understanding, but very little understanding, and that's okay. Sorry for the rant, but that's my feeling on it, if anyone cares. Okay, legit question, how do you define happiness in your life? Great question. This is a question I think about all the time, along with what are my goals? How do I define my happiness? And the answer right now, clear cut, is I define it as hanging out with Megan, my wife, or my family, in particular my nephew, who is 3 years old. And it has been flipping around between different things in the last couple of years. I think that's a lot of what being in your early 20s is about, discovering what you're like as a person, what you're going to do with the rest of your life, all that stupid shit. Well, what am I going to do with my life? Damn, I'm out of high school now. I don't know. You got to discover a lot of things when you're in your 20s. It's kind of a rough patch. You're really spinning the wheels on a lot of shit. But I don't know. I guess I'm kind of figuring out in terms of personal life. I got married and I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with my family. That's the number one thing that I take happiness from right now. And I really want to figure out what I want to do. I don't even want to say job-wise. I want to say creatively, because I want to be in a situation where I continue to make money doing what I love. And I love doing YouTube, but as I've stated, I need to figure out how to evolve, because YouTube is a constant struggle between you need to evolve to stay relevant, but there's a group of people that don't want you to change because they loved you and fell in love with you for this reason. But YouTube is cyclical, you know, viewers come and go. So you need to adapt to the new stuff, but kind of stay true to the old stuff. And I've always leaned heavy towards staying true to the old stuff, and it's really cost me in certain situations. And I just want to get to a point where I'm uploading what I want to upload, and people also want to watch it. That's the golden scenario. Because I know people that get a lot of views on YouTube and they hate what they upload, and I know people that don't get a lot of views on YouTube and they love what they upload. And I don't know which one's happier, but I'd like to do, I mean, you'd like to have your cake and eat it too, right? But if I could just like what I'm uploading and then see a little bit of positive response in return, that would help define my happiness creatively and professionally, and, you know, discover new things I want to do. I've always talked up this podcast idea, never really done it. I'd like to interview people just for my own personal gain, because I like reading books and articles and listening to interviews in my free time. I like learning things, so just interviewing different people on different topics is something I'd like to look into and haven't really done, because I want to have a lot of guests booked in advance, even before doing podcasts, because I don't want to do a great interview one week and then the next week be like, oh, I don't know who to talk to. But I don't know, I think it's kind of something you just need to dive into. Anyway, sorry for the ramble. That's how I define my happiness. Thanks for the great question, Chris. Alright guys, that's going to do it for my Q&A. Sorry it's long, but I like to do these every once in a while and just make my answers really long and talky, and just not do them all the time, because I cannot shorten my thoughts. I have to make them really long and thought out. So if you're still watching this, thanks. I appreciate you and love you, and I don't know, something in the comments that you say and I maybe say back to you, conversation stuff. Okay, cool, bye.